So this is the lineup for the women's lightweight double sculls. Poland, the Netherlands, Australia, as you can see there, they are the reigning world champions. Germany, they won the first World Cup regatta in Munich, so it's their two representatives who wear the yellow bibs. So let's meet the 6 crews. Right on the far side, lane 1. Closest to you will be lane 6. And on the far side, as Hugh was just referring to, Weronika Derec and Ilona Mokramnoska, who is actually in the stroke seat in the on the left of picture. In lane 2, well, the return to a great partnership. It's Kirsten van der Kolk, who's been persuaded to come back and join Marit van Eupen, who's been mopping up lightweight singles world titles. The two of them, though, were bronze medalists back in Athens in the Olympic Games. Here are the world champions, Amber Halliday from Perth and Margarita Houston from Adelaide. They sit in lane 3, right next to Zhu Zhongzhang and Yu Hua. Yu Zhongzhang was part of the gold medal winning partnership in 2006 in this particular race category. Canada, well, they're represented in lane number 6 by Melanie Koch and Tracy Cameron. Tracy Cameron and Melanie Koch, in their particular fight for selection, also have to contend with Jenoich, their teammate who won the lightweight singles. More of that as we get into the race. And here are the Munich World Cup victors. Closest to you, Berit Kaymer and Marie-Louise Dreger.
Canada. Germany. Attention.
Good start, pretty even there. Chinese as ever smartly away. Zhu Zhongzhang and Yu Hua, 3 from the bottom of your picture, 3 away from you now.
Canada, interestingly, Tracy Cameron, a slow start for her, and then she wound it up to just under 50 strokes to the minute in her anxiety to get back on terms. But they are half a length down there on Zhu Zhongzhang and Yu Hua from China. That altered pairing so that Chen has gone out and Yu has come back in, and they are in the lead at the moment. But as we've seen right through the day, Chinese crews, if they're going to win a race, tend to get out in front and lead from the beginning. They have not managed to draw back through the field, having been left behind off the start. So where their weaker crews are, they tend not to get back on terms. Where their stronger crews are, they tend to dominate from the beginning.
So this is, as you would expect in the early stages, everybody in contention, because, of course, lightweight sculling and rowing means that everybody's racing on pretty well equal terms.
But I think they're racing on very equal terms. I'd say they're all the same weight, as you say. I think the course is fair across the lanes. One thing that would be worrying the German team is that Berit Karau and Marie-Louise Dreger in lane 6 are closest to the camera boat, which you can see from this picture is ahead of them and is photographing back to them, and that will mean that there is a drag on lane 6, which could be heavy water for them in trying to keep up with this field. Now, they won in Munich, so they've got high expectations. It's their own fault through the repechage and semi-final process that they've ended up on the outside lane here. Those are for the slowest qualifying crews, while the fastest qualifying crews, Australia, Halliday and Houston, and China, Hu and Yu, are in the central lanes, and Germany may pay the price for that careless progress to this final.
Whatever happens here today, we also have to wait and see what Romania might produce. Romania having produced the Olympic champions in 96, 2000 and 2004. So that's another nation which we will keep a close eye on as we move towards Beijing.
I think you made a very interesting point earlier, David, when you said because the weights are all the same, there is nothing, as it were, there's no natural advantage for any single crew here, and you give away a lot because so much depends on tactics and so much depends on the way you unfold your race pattern. And actually this is a game in which it's best to keep your hand folded and keep it out of sight of the other crews, because if you've got a special game plan, the more they know about it, the better they are able to counter it. And as you say, this is so very even right the way across the field.
So Poland and on the Netherlands on the far side at the moment, but on the near side here, a really good tussle between Canada and also China. from London in Ontario. You're looking at the Chinese partnership there. Tracy Cameron from Nova Scotia. It's a powerful partnership. And these two coming to the half distance, and it's Canada just edging ahead now, ahead of Zhu Zhongjiang and Zhu Hua, with the rest of the crews at the moment looking as if they're going to have to scrap for third place.
Yes, I think that we are beginning to see the effect of this lane 6 camera, because there we have Germany, who did come on late in Munich, and they may still manage to get a wriggle on in the second half of this course, but they are 6th at 1,000 metres, and that is not indicative of their standard, unless all these other crews have found some magic extra quality in their crew changes, because
yes, I mean,
Germany should be closer.
I mean, I'd like to see a more conclusive shot about that, because if the wash coming off the catamaran happens to be passing behind them, it still shouldn't pull them in the way you're suggesting.
The wash isn't it, it's actually the bow wave. The drag comes from a bow wave which is pushed in front of the moving catamaran, and it's not visible in the water. It's visible in a physics lab, but it's not visible to a camera on the water.
So over on the far side, interesting to see how the Netherlands get on here, this partnership coming back together again. Marit van Oypen and Kirsten van der Kolk. Do you remember, Hugh, their style of racing was to really come with a late rattle, but all too often they got it wrong rather than right, but in the Olympic Games they just got it right to get the bronze medal.
This is an issue of two great individualists trying to make a double scull. A double scull is made in heaven. A double scull is about natural compatibility, and it's very hard to just take the two fastest single scullers and turn them automatically into a double. It often does not work. It has worked magically for the New Zealand men with Waddell and Cohen, who are meters apart in height and liters apart in lung volume, making a great double. But in this case, they do think a little bit differently.
Now, we saw some problems earlier on in the regatta this morning with the Australians, Kim Crow, and they were perhaps suffering the effects of the journey across here. Now we're seeing Amber Halliday and Margarita Houston with an awful lot of work to do.
I think the whole Australian team is a little bit off colour here, having travelled, and it's as I say, a week after you land is the worst period to go through, and so they had to be here for the early rounds to qualify, but they'll be feeling the climate change, or not the climate change, the time zone change more than anybody else.
Well, this is now interesting. Having a look at the Dutch on the far side, Kirsten van der Kolk and Marita van Oypen in picture now, and two very experienced ladies, both in their 30s, but Marit has kept it going, winning these lightweight single sculls championships until the moment that she could persuade her former partner to come back and join her in the boat. And they have made a little progress. China, though, at 39.5 strokes per minute. Near side to Canada, far side there are the Dutch coming into the last, I would say, 180 metres now. And the Canadians at 38 strokes per minute. Trying to push it up here. So are the Dutch on the far side, but China have got this seemingly within their grasp, coming through Zhu Zhongjiang, former world champion Zhu Hua, and this could well be the Olympic choice. We won't know for some time, but it's a pretty decent effort. But remember, the likes of Romania still to uncover their hand, and it is China that go across in first place. Ahead, just getting qualification there between, it should be Canada second and Holland third, but just waiting for confirmation on that.
With Poland 5th and Germany 6th, and that's two crews from the Munich regatta performing differently. In the case of the Poles, no help.
Second, sorry, need to interrupt there, Hugh. The Dutch are second.
Dutch took second. Deresh and Chemnitz are on equal level pegging, both finished 5th at the World Cup regatta. Berit Karau and Marie-Louise Dreger very well off, a long way off their normal form. But in the case of China, as you say, Zhu Zhongjiang with her new partner Yu Hua look the stronger of the two, and that's a clear signal to their selectors which one is the better combination.
And interestingly for Canada, finishing third there, you can see this may well bring Lindsay Generis